What if I told you that a mysterious pyramid may be hidden in the depths of the ocean, in a place so extreme that few humans have ever dared to explore? The Mariana Trench, the deepest point on the planet, holds secrets so unfathomable that science itself is still crawling to understand them. But some recent discoveries challenge everything we know. Submerged structures that resemble ancestral temples, creatures that look like something out of a science fiction movie, and an environment so hostile that few would believe that something can survive there. Is there a forgotten civilization under the waters? Or is it all just natural formation sculpted by time? History has shown that myths often carry a spark of truth, and when it comes to the depths of the ocean, everything is still open to new discoveries. Let's dive deep, no pun intended, to understand what might be hiding in the darkest shadows of the planet. Imagine a place where darkness is absolute, the temperature borders on freezing, and the pressure is so overwhelming that it would reduce a human being to dust in seconds. This is the environment of the Mariana Trench, the deepest point in the ocean, with an impressive 11,000 meters, 36,000 feet deep. To give you an idea, if we put Mount Everest inside the trench, it would still be submerged for more than a kilometer. The weight of the water at this depth is unimaginable, 1,000 times greater than that of the surface, making the environment a true test of endurance for any form of life or technology that dares to venture there. But how can something survive in such a hostile environment? Nature, as always, finds a way. Some creatures have developed translucent bodies, absence of bones, and even bioluminescence, a kind of light of their own that helps them hunt and hide. In addition, the absence of sunlight prevents any form of photosynthesis, so life there depends on another source of energy, chemical compounds that emerge from fissures in the ocean floor. That is, while on the surface we depend on sunlight, in the depths survival happens through an ecosystem based on sulfur and methane. Few people have had the chance to witness this abyss up close, and it's not for lack of curiosity. The problem is that exploring the Mariana Trench requires extremely resistant equipment, capable of withstanding crushing pressures without imploding. The first submarines designed for this mission looked more like science fiction capsules than ordinary vehicles. And that's when the incessant search for answers began. After all, what else can be hidden in this unknown immensity? Since the earliest times, the unknown has always fascinated humanity. This was the case with the oceans, space, and, of course, the Mariana Trench. The first major official expedition took place in 1875, when HMS Challenger identified this huge depression on the ocean floor. However, at that time, exploring such depths was practically impossible. The technology of the time was limited to rudimentary measurements, but the simple fact of knowing that there was a colossal chasm there aroused curiosity and mystery. Since then, legends have begun to emerge. Monstrous creatures, lost civilizations, and even portals to other dimensions have been suggested by speculators. One of the most popular myths concerns the idea that fewer people visited the Mariana Trench than the moon. While it sounds incredible, this is true. Only about 27 explorers descended to the bottom of the trench, while 24 astronauts made it to the moon. This data further fuels theories that something mysterious may be hiding down there. In addition, there are stories about possible ancient submerged structures, such as pyramids or temples, that could indicate traces of unknown civilizations. Science has yet to validate such claims, but they persist and continue to inspire mystery hunters and researchers. And of course, we can't forget the stories about giant monsters. If there is an environment conducive to sheltering colossal creatures, this place is the Mariana Trench. Belief in the existence of a living megalodon, a prehistoric shark that supposedly survived the ages in the depths of the ocean, has been circulating for years. Although scientific evidence indicates that it went extinct millions of years ago, that doesn't stop people from continuing to speculate. And how can we deny that the ocean still hides secrets? The further we go, the more we realize how little we still know about the underwater world. If you think that life only thrives in friendly environments, the Mariana Trench proves otherwise. Even in conditions of crushing pressure, extreme cold, and total darkness, nature has found ingenious ways to adapt. Deep inside live some of the most bizarre and fascinating creatures on the planet. The Mariana snailfish, for example, looks fragile at first glance, but is actually the supreme predator of the place. It has no scales, is almost translucent, and has a gelatinous body that resists pressure. In a world without light, where almost nothing moves quickly, he has become an efficient poacher. Another celebrity of the abyss is the vampire squid from hell. The name is scary, but this harmless creature has a surreal appearance. A reddish skin, huge eyes, and a membrane between its tentacles that makes it look like a real alien creature. To protect itself, instead of throwing paint, it releases glowing mucus, confusing predators and disappearing into the darkness. But if there's one star that defies all odds, it's giant tube worms. They live near hydrothermal vents, without needing sunlight to survive. Instead of feeding like any other animal, they absorb chemical compounds directly from the water, proving that life can exist in even the most extreme environments. What is most striking about the fauna of the deep is the fact that the deeper you go, the stranger everything becomes. The absence of predators in large numbers allows some species to grow to impressive proportions. It is a so-called abyssal gigantism. Animals such as a giant isopod, which looks like a 50 centimeters armadillo, and the colossal squid, which can exceed 14 meters in length, are good examples. And to think that this ecosystem works without depending on any source of solar energy. With each new expedition, new discoveries emerge. But have we seen everything that lurks at the bottom of the ocean? Exploring the Mariana Trench is not a task for everyone. From the first experiments, it was clear that going down there would require state-of-the-art technology and superhuman endurance. In 1960, explorers Jacques Picard and Don Walsh were the first to reach the bottom of the trench aboard the Trieste, a bathyscaphe specifically designed to withstand colossal pressures. The journey was long, about 5 hours down, and only 20 minutes at the bottom before returning to the surface. Even so, the feat was historic, paving the way for new expeditions and raising an important question. What else could be discovered down there? But it was in 2012 that a new milestone happened. Film director James Cameron, passionate about exploring the oceans, became the first human being to travel alone to the bottom of the trench. In his submersible deep-sea Challenger, he spent nearly 3 hours exploring and recording never-before-seen footage. The vehicle's technology was impressive. Built with ultra-resistant materials, equipped with high-definition cameras, and even a robotic arm to collect samples. Cameron proved that science and human curiosity can go beyond the limits imposed by nature, but still, much of the trench remains a mystery. Currently, several companies and scientists are trying to develop new forms of deep exploration. Commercial submersibles already exist, allowing wealthy people to experience a descent to the bottom of the ocean, a luxury still reserved for the few. Additionally, technologies such as high-precision sonar and autonomous aquatic drones have helped to better map these uncharted regions. But as far as we go, the truth is that we know more about the moon than we do about the depths of our own planet. What can still be hidden in the shadows of this unfathomable abyss? What makes an entire city disappear without a trace? Wars, natural disasters, time itself. There are many forces that can wipe a civilization off the map. But what about when this disappearance does not happen on dry land, but under the waters, hiding not only the bodies and ruins, but history itself? The Yonaguni Monument, submerged in the depths of Japan, is one of those enigmas that defy time and logic. Its steps line up as if carved by a lost intelligence. Its passages and platforms seem to tell a forgotten story, buried by the ocean for millennia. But there is something even more intriguing: the exactness of its shapes. Straight lines and perfect angles, which rarely occur in nature, erected there in the abyssal silence, like an echo of a civilization that may have existed before any other. Explorers who have dived the site report a strange sensation when approaching the structure, an invisible weight in the environment, as if they were invading a space that should never have been found. Mysterious currents form around the stones, deflecting sediment and revealing symmetrical patterns etched into the rock. Are they mere coincidences or evidence that an advanced culture was there long before our recorded history? Scientists try to reduce Yonaguni to a simple geological phenomenon, but what if they are wrong? What if this sunken pyramid is just the tip of a larger secret, a fragment of a city that stretches beyond the shadows, hidden in the depths of the ocean, waiting to be rediscovered? Another fascinating case is Port Royal in Jamaica, a real city that sank in the 17th century after a devastating earthquake. Known as the Babylon of the New World, Port Royal was a center of trade and piracy, filled with taverns and riches. Today, its ruins remain intact underwater, like a true underwater museum. Divers can see streets, buildings, and even everyday objects frozen in time. This kind of discovery reminds us that the ocean holds secrets about our own history, revealing pieces of the past that would otherwise be lost forever. But if there is a legend that never dies, it is that of Atlantis. Since Plato's accounts, the idea of an advanced civilization that would have been swallowed by the sea has fascinated generations. Although there is no concrete evidence, several submerged cities have already been discovered around the world, reinforcing the hypothesis that, throughout history, many empires may have been victims of climate change and natural disasters. The truth is that the ocean is an immense natural archive where history, science, and myth intertwine. What if there was something even bigger, even more hidden, waiting to be revealed? The Mariana Trench is not only a deep hole in the ocean, but a true geological and chemical laboratory. Located at the junction of tectonic plates, this region is the scene of intense seismic and volcanic activity. With every move, colossal forces shape the ocean floor, creating fissures and releasing massive amounts of heat and gas. One of the most fascinating discoveries in this environment are the hydrothermal vents, veritable natural chimneys that spew sulfur and methane at absurd temperatures. To anyone who doesn't know the science behind it, it would seem impossible that anything could survive in this toxic environment. But nature always surprises. Scientists have discovered that these sources are oases of life in the middle of nowhere, sustaining organisms that do not depend on the sun for energy. Instead of photosynthesis, life there survives by a process called chemosynthesis, where microorganisms convert chemicals into energy. This completely changes the view we have about where life can exist. If creatures can survive in these extreme conditions, who guarantees that there cannot be life forms on other planets, such as Europa, Jupiter's moon, which also has oceans under its icy crust? Deep-sea biology can teach us more about astrobiology than anywhere else on Earth. In addition to biology, studies of the trench also help to understand the mysteries of the Earth's crust. Some scientists believe that this may be the closest access to the planet's mantle, a layer that is still practically unknown. Expeditions seek rock samples to study the origin of the Earth and better predict earthquakes and tsunamis. But if there is something that this abyss teaches us, it is that the more we discover, the more we realize how much we still need to know. After all, what else can be hidden beneath these layers of darkness and pressure? If there's one thing that looks like something out of a science fiction movie, it's the abyssal gigantism. Deep in the Mariana Trench, creatures grow to much larger sizes than their shallow water counterparts. This happens for several reasons: extreme pressure, the scarcity of predators, and the need to store energy for long periods. One of the most impressive examples is the colossal squid, which can exceed 14 meters in length. This silent monster patrols the darkness with eyes the size of plates, ready to detect any unsuspecting prey. But she's not alone. Another giant of the deep is the Greenland shark, a prehistoric predator that can live up to 400 years. It swims slowly in deep water, taking advantage of the lack of competition to become one of the most resilient predators on the planet. Unlike other sharks, it does not need speed to hunt. It prefers ambushes or feeding on animals that are already dead. And speaking of sharks, the theory that the megalodon may still exist in the trench continues to fuel debate. Science says that it went extinct millions of years ago, but considering that we only know 5% of the oceans, who can say with complete certainty? In addition to predators, the ocean floor is home to bizarre and resistant beings, such as a giant isopod, a crustacean that looks like a giant armadillo and can live for years without eating. Others, such as the Mariana snailfish, are small but extremely adapted, withstanding absurd pressures without difficulty. And this raises a fascinating question. If these animals evolved to survive in such extreme conditions, what other biological secrets might be hidden in these chasms? The exploration of the Mariana Trench has many similarities with another major unknown frontier, outer space. Just as humanity needed to develop technologies to send astronauts to the moon, the exploration of the ocean floor also required the development of vehicles resistant to extreme pressure, advanced communication systems, and ultra-resistant materials. It is no wonder that some space agencies, such as NASA, study the oceans to understand how to operate in extreme environments. The logic is simple. If we can survive in the depths of the ocean, we are one step closer to surviving on other planets. A clear example of this is Jupiter's moon Europa, which has a subsurface ocean covered by a layer of ice. Many scientists believe that if there is alien life in the solar system, that's where it will be. But how to explore an extraterrestrial ocean? Simple. Studying the extremes of the Earth first. Autonomous submarines designed to descend into the Mariana Trench could be the basis for aquatic probes that will one day explore the icy seas of other worlds. In other words, knowing our own ocean can give us clues about life beyond Earth. And it is not only in science that these explorations are connected. Psychologically, explorers of space and the depths face similar challenges. Extreme isolation, hostile environments, and the lurking unknown. Whether in space or at the bottom of the ocean, the rule is the same. Those who do not adapt do not survive. Each new discovery pushes the boundaries of what we know about the universe, biology, and even ourselves. But if we explore the skies and waters, are we ready for what we haven't yet discovered? If there's one thing we've learned from exploring the Mariana Trench, it's that the unknown still dominates much of our planet. Each new discovery challenges what we thought we knew about life, history, and even the limits of science. But what if there's something even bigger waiting to be found? If creatures can survive under crushing pressure and entire civilizations can disappear beneath the waters, what other secrets can be hidden, waiting to be revealed? Now, think about it. If explorers of the past had been content with what they already knew, we would never have discovered continents, new species, or the advances that seem common to us today. What else can be in front of our eyes, and we just don't realize? The mystery of the deep is a reminder that the world still has much to offer for those who dare to seek. If you are also moved by this curiosity, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and like the video. Here, you will always have access to content that expands the mind and challenges the way we see the world. And to continue this journey of discovery, be sure to watch the other videos on the channel. The link is in the description.